Hey everybody, it's Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. I am coming to you today with some news that I'm sure a lot of you have heard. Um, we will not be going back to Garrett Elementary this school year. We will not be back in the building. I know that some of you may still have some items there. I know that you guys have the books that I lent you for your distance learning to take home and read, and we will talk about all of that and what we're going to do about all of that later. But I am very sad, and but hopefully maybe when all of this is over, one day this summer, we can have maybe a class get together to kind of see each other one more time. And just enjoy each other's company because I have missed you guys. It's been a really hard time being away from everybody. And I've been thinking about y'all a lot the last couple weeks. So I am sad that I won't get to see you, but we're going to continue doing these videos. There go the dogs. They see somebody outside. I'm going to keep sending these videos. We're going to keep doing our online or our paper activities. And we're just going to keep in touch the best that we can while this is going on. And just know that I'm thinking about you guys. Also wanted to let you know Thaddeus is not doing okay. He's in the hospital, but he's supposed to be going home today. So if you want to create like a get well picture or a video or something and have your parents send it to me, I can forward it to him so he can kind of see you guys maybe encouraging him to get better. But just keep him in your thoughts. And yeah, I think that's all the news that I have. Remember, y'all can talk to me anytime. Ask me questions, send me videos, send me pictures. Elijah's been sending me a lot of pictures of his drawings and pictures of him. So don't be afraid to send me some things so I can see how you guys are doing. Just ask your parents if you can use their phones and their class tag, or maybe they can do it for you. Okay? All right, so we're going to go on to chapter 29. It is called The Lost Ear. All right, and we've got 2 more chapters left. We got this one and we got 1 more tomorrow. So hopefully these will be some good chapters, okay? So chapter 29, The Lost Ear. Mrs. Jules was teaching the class about mammals. All mammals have hair, she said. Bibi raised her hand. Is my father a mammal? She asked. Yes, all people are mammals, said Mrs. Jules. But my father doesn't have any hair, said Bibi. He's bald. Everybody laughed. Benjamin stared down at his desktop. He was very determined. Mrs. Jules would be handing out report cards at the end of the week. He had to tell her his real name before then. He raised his hand, but Mac also had his hand raised. Yes, Mac, said Mrs. Jules. I heard about a man who was getting his hair cut, said Mac, and the barber cut off one of the man's ears. See, the man had very long hair. I think he was a hippie. So the barber couldn't see his ear until it fell on the floor. Thank you, Mac, said Mrs. Jules. That was a very interesting story. I'm not finished, said Mac. When the barber saw the ear on the floor, he said, Is that your ear on the floor? And then the hippie said, What? I can't hear you. So the barber showed him his ear. Then he called an ambulance to take the hippie to the hospital. Were they able to put his ear back on? Asked Todd. We'll see, said Mac. Well, see, said Mac. The doctors were all set to sew it to his head. They were in the operating room and everything. But suddenly they couldn't find the ear. Man, they looked everywhere for it. Did they look under the operating table? Asked Joy. Yep, said Mac. It wasn't there. How about in the bathroom? Asked Eric Bacon. Maybe they lost it when they washed their hands. They looked, but it wasn't there, said Mac. Did they leave it at the barber shop? Asked Jenny. Nope. Did they ever find it? Asked Allison. Yes, said Mac, but you'll never guess where. In the refrigerator, grumbled Mrs. Jules. No, how would it get there? Asked Mac. Well, we really need to get back to mammals, said Mrs. Jules. Yes, Mark. Benjamin lowered his hand. My name's not Mark, he said. My name really is Benjamin Nushmutt, and I came from Hempleton, not Macedonia. Fine, said Mrs. Jules, but we were talking about mammals. Now, the whale is the largest mammal. Even though it lives in the ocean, it is still a mammal, not a fish. Do whales have hair? Asked John. Yes, said Mrs. Jules. Dana laughed. A whale with pigtails, she exclaimed. Boy, I'd love to pull one of those, said Paul. Benjamin couldn't believe it. Didn't you hear what I just said? He asked. Yes, Benjamin, said Mrs. Jules. Well, don't you think I'm strange? Asked Benjamin. All this time you've been calling me by the wrong name and I never told you? Don't you think I'm crazy? No, said Mrs. Jules. Benjamin was getting upset. Well, don't you think it's a silly name? Benjamin Nushmutt. He looked around at his classmates. Doesn't anybody think I'm weird? No, you're not weird, said Sherry. I'll tell you what's weird. What's weird is bringing a hobo to school for show and tell. I'm the one who's weird. That's not weird, said Bibi. What's weird is telling everyone you have a brother when you don't. I'm the weirdo. You call that weird? Exclaimed Stephen. I'm weird. Who else would choke himself just to look nice? That's not weird, said Jenny. That's normal. Try reading a story backward. That's weird. I'm the weird one in this class. That's a laugh, said Rondi. If you're so weird, then how come you never asked Louis to kick you in the teeth? I'm the one who's crazy. No, that's not crazy, said Todd. I'll tell you what's crazy. What's crazy is that we all go to school on the 30th floor and the bathrooms are way down on the first. Everyone agreed with that, even Mrs. Jules. Benjamin shook his head. What a bunch of weirdos, he thought. Then he smiled. He felt proud to be in a class where nobody was strange because nobody was normal. Oh, this must be your lunch, said Mrs. Jules. She gave Benjamin the white paper sack that had been sitting on her desk since Benjamin's first day of school. At lunch, Allison headed down the stairs. Mark, she exclaimed. Hi, Allison, said Mark Miller. Long time no see. He carried a white paper sack just like Benjamin's. Allison was afraid she was back on the 19th story. Don't worry, said Mark. Suddenly, everyone realized my name was Mark Miller and not Benjamin Nushmutt, and then Miss Zarves gave me this bag and told me to take it to the hospital. Is it your lunch? Asked Allison. Look inside, said Mark. He handed her the bag. Allison looked inside. There was an ear. Allison's eyes lit up. Oh, now I get it, she exclaimed. I understand everything. There is no Miss Zarves. See, Mac was talking about the ear, then Benjamin Nushmutt said his name wasn't Mark Miller, so that means you... What? Asked Mark. Allison suddenly looked very confused. Never mind, she mumbled. For just a second, Allison had understood everything, but then she lost it. And I did too. None of it makes any sense to me. I don't know why he has an ear. I don't know what happened. That was a very weird chapter. But at least now everyone can call Benjamin by his real name and not call him Mark Miller anymore. All right, I hope you guys are having a great day. Tomorrow will be our last day of schoolwork for about a week. We'll go on for spring break. Y'all can relax. Parents don't have to worry about teaching you, getting on the computer. You guys will be free for a little bit, at least free in your own homes and your yard. Not free to go out, but at least you won't have to do any schoolwork. So have a great Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow on Fabulous Friday.